Hi, it's Karen from hippofrogdesigns.co.uk. Welcome to today's top tips, tricks and techniques from my craft desk. In this video, I'm sharing how to ink up your stamps using Stampin' Up markers. This technique is great for projects where you want more than one colour on an image, like floral images, or for using part of a stamp, such as a sentiment. Today's project uses both of these techniques to create this pretty floral thank you card. First, select the image you want to use and pop it onto your clear block. I'm using the stem of flowers from the Quiet Meadow stamp set, and I want to use different colours for the leaves and flowers. Next, decide on your colours. As Stampin' Up markers are sold in colour collections, I'm using Old Olive, Crushed Curry and Pumpkin Pie from the Regals collection. Then, it's just a case of inking your image using your Stampin' Up markers. I find using the thicker brush end of the markers and just popping it on the side helps me to ink up easier. I'm using the green here for the leaves and stems. Taking care not to touch any of the pieces I want in other colours. If you do go over pieces, you can either remove it with your finger or use a piece of cotton wool or a cotton bud just with a little bit of water on it. Okay, so that's the green done. I'll then move on to my crushed curry for the flowers. Again, taking care not to touch any of that green I've done. I don't really want green flowers. Just lifting it up to the edge so that you don't get the image of my ring light in the block. But you will use yours flat onto the surface. And finally, I'm just going to pop a little bit of pumpkin pie in the center of each flower. Now, when you're done, just have a quick final look to check that you've got everything. And this is the perfect chance to just go over any bits you may have missed. And I've now inked up my image. As you've taken a while to colour it in, the ink will have started to go dry. So what you will need to do is actually huff over the stamp to re-moisten it. Once you've given it a good huff, stamp it onto your cardstock as usual. And there we have a green, yellow and orange floral image. Now, you have been huffing on your stamp. In these times, do ensure you've cleaned your stamp properly before anyone else uses it. I'll just use a blender pen to pull more colour onto the image. I do this really quickly because if you overdo it, the cardstock will start to ruck up a little bit, and you don't want that. Now, when you're using a blender pen, just clean it off before you go on to another colour. I'm going to do this on the yellow, but I'm going to ignore the orange because I'm going to use some Wink of Stella in the middle, and that will act in the same way as a blender pen. And can you see how it's just made everything pop? For the sentiment from the Dragonfly Garden stamp set, I just want to use the thank you part of this stamp. So using my Stampin' Right marker again, I'm carefully inking up the part of the stamp I want. Now be careful when you're quite close to other parts. Just make sure you've got everything. Remember to huff again before stamping. I've now huffed and I'm just going to stamp my image. And there's my sentiment. These pieces are now all ready for you to cut out and use on your project. I hope you found my explanation of this technique useful and are inspired to grab those Stampin' Right markers. I'll pop a link to the blog post that has all the details of the items I've used for today's project in the description below this video. Head to hippofrogdesigns.co.uk for more project ideas. See you soon.